I have a couple spooky stories from growing up. To make it easier to tell, I made a very rough not-to-scale draft of the house's layout. I tried researching it, but the only thing I could really discover is that it was built in 1920 as a duplex. Grandpa bought it in the 60s and converted it to a single-family home, raised my two uncles and mom. My parents bought it in 97 when I was about 7 or 8 to raise my sister and I. I heard stories from my mom saying that when she was growing up there, she and my grandma would experience some weird things. Shadow figures moving in the dark. Banging noises in the basement. Appliances starting by themselves in the kitchen. Footsteps in empty rooms. Dogs would freak out randomly sometimes. Supposedly my grandpa had seen shadow figures too when working on the house, but he never talked about it and never was willing to open up about it. I was also told this story by my mom. Me. Age 3 or 4. Visiting grandparents for the day. Mom and grandma in the dining room talking. I'm just sitting on the floor with a toy. Start smiling, waving, and talking to someone standing in the family room. Both mom and grandma look back and no one is there. Ask me who I'm talking to. I say the lady and then tell her bye before stopping and go back to playing. I have more though after we moved in. Fast forward to 97. Finally settled in and having a sleepover with some kids from school. All camped out in the living room with the lights dimmed so we don't step on each other if we need the bathroom. I'm having a hard time falling asleep and feel like something is watching me. Even as a 7-year-old I think this feeling is stupid because I never had this problem before when staying with my grandparents. Looking around and look towards the hallway between the master bedroom and other bedroom. See a small black figure that looks like a kid about my age squatting down and peeking around the corner. Think it's one of kids because the figure is pretty solid looking, but it's pitch black. Can't see any facial features or anything even in the dim light. We both stare at each other for like 10 minutes before I finally feel exhausted and pass out. No one else saw the shadow kid that night. Shortly after that, I started hearing loud banging noises in the basement. It sounded like someone was slamming the dryer door shut multiple times, and I'd often feel really uneasy going down there. Like I'd go to get some clothes and then feel like something was stalking me from the darkness. I can't tell you how many times I'd bolt up the stairs because I felt like something was going to lunge from the unfinished part of the basement and drag me away. But it wasn't until a bit later that stuff got real weird. Time to talk about the shadow man. A few years later. Sister is now 3 and she's in bedroom 1. One night she freaks out for no explained reason and sleeps with my parents. The next night they try to put her to bed, but she absolutely refuses to go into her room at night even to play. They can't get any reason as to why from her. Over the next few months my parents try everything to make her sleep in her own room, but she always resorted to sleeping in the living room or with them. One night she and my mom are in her room cleaning. My mom goes to open the closet door and my sister freaks out. No, mommy. The man is there. Don't let him out. Don't let him out, please. WTF.jpg. My sister starts breaking down, and after my mom calms her down, she can get more of the story. Sister says that one night she was in bed and the closest door opened by itself. It's an old house and our closets are like pig related. They just don't open by themselves. My mom thinks my sister just had a bad dream she can't get over. So we switch. I get put into bedroom 1 and my sister is in bedroom 2. Everything is okay for about a week and then she starts talking about how the man is back in her new room. Can't get much of a description from her other than he's tall and all black. He never talks but just stares and makes her feel bad. Now we were raised Catholic, so naturally my parents got a priest over to do a house blessing, but it took multiple blessings and about 5 years before she felt comfortable sleeping in any bedroom again. I never saw the shadow man, but I had other things happen. Actually now that I think back to it, I might have seen the shadow man. Now mid-2000s, I'm starting high school. My sister is back in bedroom 1 and this was still somewhat in the middle of trying to chase away the shadow man. I'm back in bedroom 2 and bedroom 3 has been turned into a computer room. On multiple occasions I'd be up late playing on my PC. Would randomly smell cigar smoke but only in that room and only between 2 AM to 3 AM. No one in the family smoked, let alone would smoke a cigar. All windows were closed and it was super late at night, so it wasn't any neighbors. It'd linger in the room for about 15 minutes and then just disappear as quickly as it came. Throughout the years I'd hear footsteps, particularly on the stairs going towards the basement when I knew no one else was up. I'd hear whispers from the back part of the house and would hear my name called when home alone. One night got up to get a drink from kitchen. Saw a strange ball of light hovering in the dining room and disappear. I thought it must have been a trick of the mind from my eyes being messed up from staring at a screen all night. Heard footsteps to my right. Looked into the living room. Saw a silhouette of a man walking slowly towards the hall on the other side. At first I thought it's just my dad and continued towards the kitchen. Then I realized that I didn't see him in the hall when I opened my room, couldn't make out any features of him, and I heard no footsteps until after the ball of light disappeared. Hurried back into the living room and rushed to the master bedroom. Looked in and both my parents were sound asleep. Sure, it could have been my dad, but all of this happened in less than 2 minutes. I found it somewhat hard to believe that he'd be able to make it back into bed and fall asleep so fast that he was snoring that quickly. Especially without ever hearing or noticing me. And last memorable story I have. B19 and sister is 12. By this time the shadow man doesn't appear to be hiding in the closest anymore, but she's still freaked out and favors the living room to sleep. I've switched bedroom 2 into my game room with a futon, PC, and consoles. Bedroom 3 is now where I sleep. Go to pull an all-nighter because I was waiting for something to be released on the Xbox Live Marketplace at like 5 AM. It's around 3 AM or 4 AM and decide to lay down on my bedroom for a bit. The cat is chilling on the bed with me doing cat things. I have my eyes closed for a few minutes when all of a sudden I hear loud footsteps. They sound like the steps of a young kid running. The noise starts at the hallway, goes through bedroom 2, and steps dead right at the door going into bedroom 3 where I am. Think it's my sister who is flipping out over something and saw my lights on. Get up to turn to her and ask what she needs. Stop mid-sentence because there's no one there. Get up from the bedroom and look into the room and it's completely empty. The hair on the back of the cat's neck is up and she's in a defensive position on the bed looking cautiously into the room and kind of making a hissing noise. I go and check it out and find my sister sound asleep on the sofa with dog sleeping by her. Check out the rest of the house and find nothing. Go back into bedroom 2. Cat is still sitting at the door at bedroom 3 and refuses to come into the other room. So I got back and sit on the bed with the cat to calm her down while trying to figure out what the fuck happened. Things kind of died down after that. I moved out 2 years later. My mom and sister still both told me about activity around the house. It apparently got more active after my dad died in the living room, but my mom assumed it was just his spirit and was cool with it. Sometimes I wonder what the new owners experience, if anything at all.